was so musical, so beautifully executed, really, and so such respect for the score, and so many good things.
Thank you.
So many good things. Really, I'm so impressed. I think my first, I always try to think of like the most important thing I can say to you. And, you know, it's very different from what I say to most people. So, I don't usually talk about projection because I don't like people that just play on the bridge as loud as they can. But you do need to project more. Okay. So we could work a little bit, but that's not my thing. So I just want you to know that. I think about important things. but I do feel that you can be a little bit more aware of sounding point of the phrase that you're playing. So when it changes on each string, each register, so you have to be really in tune to maybe, I mean, I don't know what violin you're playing, maybe it's not that loud, but I think we could get more out of it. Okay. So that's one thing. Natalia is in Bravo. That's really beautiful. Like, would you do me a huge favor? And next time you play it, I always have the pianist of my studio add the flute solo. Because this is just bum, 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 bing. And this is so you know, next time you do it, try it because it's really beautiful. What you're playing is wonderful. Wonderful. You guys are lucky. You have such a good collaborator. So at the beginning of your performance, I put down a few things that I think are important. One was sound and projecting. I think not at the beginning, because at the beginning it's supposed to sound like a, right. I figured you knew what it meant. You know how many students I have that go to the Curtis Institute and don't know what soñando means? It's just embarrassing. I say, it's okay if you don't know what it is, but it's not okay not to look it up. So, good for you. Well, you're a student of Julie's, right? So, yeah, I figured you're gonna know a lot of what's necessary for this piece. Where are you, Julie? Right here. Okay, so this was my piece in Indianapolis.
I know!
I can't believe it.
Well, then when she wanted to play this for you, I told her that. So.
Oh gosh, I can't believe it. And I've been living with this piece since 1982. So, and I don't know.
I know you were 4
People
years.
told me it was a bad choice for the finals. And you know, Michaela and I are like best friends.
Absolutely.
We've served on juries and hung out. She's wonderful.
She is wonderful.
Great player and a great musician. So the fact that she won the gold medal, she's awesome. But I think Tchaikovsky probably is a better choice than Prokofiev for a competition. Anyway, okay. So a few things. So the sounding point. Sometimes I feel that you allow your bow to dictate a phrasing or the shape of a phrase. For instance, I would love to work with you on when you have a single note in a bow, how to make it so that it's part of the big picture and doesn't disrupt the phrase by being too loud or too accented. So that's one thing. My teacher used to say, when we had bow issues, you know, he was really into the bow. And of course, we have so much to do here that sometimes we forget that the music and the art is really here. So he used to call it accidental phrasing. So that's what we want to avoid.
Yeah.
So most of your choices of string choices according to the phrase and the color, I think are very, very good. I make a couple of different decisions, but at the beginning I did hard to start a piece like this, and I think it's hard to stand up in front of an orchestra for 5 minutes while they play a tutti, but I think it's almost harder to just have to play something so dreamy and so beautiful after just 2 bars of being up there. But I think you have to take some deep breaths. Maybe for this particular beginning, you could be a little bit more to the fingerboard for that kind of color. So one difference, and this is very small, but for some ear music. So I do this. I don't go to the A until here. So and so I substitute a 2 there because I feel like that. Then the new idea is here. And then there's a million ways, of course, to do this. But what I like to do is less on this. So I do go to the D string. So that way, you're developing the phrase according to the instrument and what it can give you. It's always good to work with the violin, although sometimes we end up fighting with it, and you know who wins when that happens. It's never us. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Find a better way to do it. So let's do the beginning. I'd love to see your vibrato a little bit calmer. A beautiful color over the fingerboard, and then we'll stop here. Yes, I think the first thing you could do is give yourself a little bit more, maybe start in the middle of the bow. And I always find that if we're careful about drawing the bow, that's when, they're going to say, no, I'm not doing that. So don't be afraid to use bow speed at the beginning. And the main thing is just to be in the right place and have the right pressure. But to be very careful and have a slower bow is not going to get you the color that you need. So. The other thing about the opening I find is that how many people have heard this? Let's do it another way. How many people have never heard this piece? Okay, so that's perfect. Thank you so much. Because my point is, when you play, there's always going to be somebody that's never heard the music. And what a privilege to bring that to them, this beautiful piece. And you're the one introducing it to all those people that raised their hand. So my point, the main point is to have more wonderment in what you're doing. So that, maybe we don't expect this interval. So don't be matter of fact about it. Try to think back at the first time you heard the piece. So let's try that again with more bow speed starting here. And, pretty close to the fingerboard, light pressure, but move the bow. Oh, I see. It's you don't want to hear it, right? So you need to travel lightly and not use a lot of bow. So can we do from number 1? Not too soft. Color is more important. Now light. Nice. Good, very nice. So these dashes for me are markings that I think call for a slightly sort of spoken, more parlando kind of approach. So there's a little bit of there's a little lean on each note. They're not all the same because there's a shape, but they're also not just the same sound all throughout. So that calls for bow speed at the beginning of the note. So where would you like to start? How about that? That. So.
power to you, but make a sound. More effective with your accents. So this place at 14 has a million accents, but they're all in different places. Now the first one that comes that's on the 4th, 16th is a surprise, and you really have to bring it out. So I would like to do this slowly with you, and then I will show you how to bring out the accents. This is a thing I think in all Prokofiev and a lot of other music during that time. I think the way to bring out the accents is to play them longer.
Okay.
And often those composers don't put dots in addition to the accents. So I play, so that really brings them out. Now here, on the string and very muscled. Okay, so now comes the so you can only really do, let's do it slowly, you and me together. We don't May I have my violin back? I'll take my book too. So when you, did you have a good time?
Yeah, that was beautiful.
So, oh, I like this too. Okay, so here, when you're in the cadenza, people don't want to play it up here because the fifth lays here, and it's never in tune. Okay, so show you, don't forget this, because this is really important. I'll show you how to manipulate the strings. When I shift down, I'm going to take my first finger and bring the G string up. And I will never play that fifth out of tune. And you're going to leave the first finger there because it's going to help the three. And people play it here because it's easier to get the fifth. But here is so much more beautiful. And then the next one. So what you need to do is this kind of thing. Okay, let's say I'm going to start with a piece starts with that fifth. So then you're going to check it out. So